Ah, good evening. Yes, and you're the new tech for my show. I remember you from the interview. It's lovely to see you again. Good, you have your caffeine and you're all set up here. The show's going to start in about 7 minutes. Do you need anything before we start? Excellent. I'm glad we have you here. Of course you can ask me a question. Questions are how we learn. Fire away. What made me decide to start a horror-themed radio show? Well, as you can tell, I do have the voice for it. I'm also very nocturnal in my hours. Besides, as you can see, I also have the aesthetic. Oh, I favor black. Slimming, fashionable, and if I'm sneaking up on someone, no one will ever spot me. No. You can wear whatever you want. I just prefer to keep myself in the mindset of someone who delves into horror. How did I get into horror in the first place? Well, let's just say I have a personal interest in the macabre. What about you? What interested you in this job? You just wanted a paying job in the world of radio, and this seemed like fun. Fair enough. No, don't apologize. I certainly won't be ratting you out or anything. I appreciate your candor. I can completely understand needing to pay the bills and do something with your qualifications. I got started in radio because I have the voice for it, and when I'm comfortable, it's hard to get me to shut up. Yes, it's refreshing to meet someone as upfront as you. Everyone's polite enough here, but it sometimes feels like a bit of an artifice, and it can be nice to hear something true once in a while. Of course, I welcome your honesty, my friend. In fact, I insist on it. Well, like you, I'm not most people, so it seems we're in good company. Ah, that's my cue to get in my booth. I'll wave to you if I need anything, yes? Perfect. Thank you. Well, once more unto the breach, dear friend. Good evening, little ones. Welcome to the show. I'm the host, Chastity Bites. Just my little joke. It is October, the most beautiful month of the year. A time where the veil between worlds thins just a little, allowing those of us from beyond to pass through and mingle among the living. Be wary, little ones. You don't want to wake up with a craving for something other than food. It might not be pica. It might be that you've been bitten by something not of this world. Now, we begin, as we do during our Halloween shows, with a little story time. This one is one of my favorites, and I'm sure you've at least heard of it, even if you haven't read it. Let us proceed with the master of macabre himself, Mr. Edgar Allan Poe and his blood-chilling tale, The Telltale Heart. Almighty God, no! No! They heard! They suspected! They knew! They were making a mockery of my horror! This I thought, and this I think, but anything was better than this agony. Anything was more tolerable than this derision. I could bear those hypocritical smiles no longer. I felt that I must scream or die. And now, again, hark louder, 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 louder! Villains! I shrieked. Dissemble no more. I admit the deed. Tear up the blanks. Here, here! It is the beating of his hideous heart! Did you enjoy that, little ones? I hope you did. Now, I find myself a bit parched. Please enjoy the beautiful sounds of Sonderlust, and remember to turn down your volume if you have pesky neighbors you don't want to eat. We'll be back in 10 minutes. That was a lovely warm-up. Oh, thank you. I could use some water. Thank you. I rather enjoy bringing some frightful delights to the masses. Campy. Yes, you're probably very right. But isn't that part of the fun? It's late at night, there are no rules. We can be as creepy or campy or... Not a fan of the word crazy. Far too many negative connotations for my taste. Maybe chilling, charged, charming. My, is that a compliment? Just being candid. Another good word, and in keeping with our needs for this partnership to work. I approve. Yes, partnership. Don't think I didn't hear all the sound effects you were adding in. My last technician never bothered, preferred sleeping to running the show. But those, they're a flourish, your mark on the show. I rather like it. Campy, certainly. But in keeping with the theme, it's rather cute, actually. Yes, another good alliterative word. Oh, are you blushing? No, of course not. No, how foolish of me. Yes, of course. One more sip, and back in there. I do hate the lack of taste. I wish we had something a bit heavier. Right, back into the fray. Welcome back, little ones. I hope you enjoyed that musical interlude. Now, we're going to read the scariest emails from our listening audience, talking about our weekly prompt. Have you ever seen a ghost? This email comes to us from Dawn of the Dead, who writes, When I was a teenager, we had a floor in our high school that everyone called haunted. It was the top floor, and it had fallen into disuse. Everyone said it was because of the lack of funding for arts programs, but we all knew it was because of the haunting. No one knows what happened, but no one dares go up there. One night, we were on the school property after hours, playing Truth or Dare. Oh, my little one, how naughty. And I was dared to go to the top floor of the school building and stay there for 15 minutes. I made my friends accompany me to the landing. Then I went in on my own with my flashlight. I walked around for a bit, taking sight of the crumbling walls, the rusted lockers, the dusty doors, and the old linoleum floors. The full moon was shining through the windows, but there wasn't a lot of light because of all the dirt on the windows. All of a sudden, as I passed the middle art classroom, I felt a shiver run up my spine, and my entire body felt icy cold, as if I'd wandered into a freezing shower without realizing it. I jumped back, looking around, but I couldn't see anything. When I jumped, My hand landed on the doorknob of that classroom, and I was able to open the door. That scared me, because the teachers had made a point of telling us that while we could physically access the top floor, we would not be able to enter the classrooms because they were locked. I was able to look around the old wooden easels and stools, the rusting deep sinks and filthy jars of paint, and to my horror, saw one easel in the center of the room, illuminated a little by the light from the windows. There was a canvas on the easel, and I was unable to see what was on it. So I moved closer, holding tightly to my flashlight. I could hear a noise in the distance, but it felt as though I was being controlled to keep moving closer and closer to the easel and canvas until I could see what was being painted. It was an unfinished piece of a figure with red hair like mine, dressed in the clothes I was wearing, covered in blood. For a split second, I couldn't breathe, and finally, I was able to run from the room back the way I came and bumped into my terrified friends. They had been making the noise I'd heard, calling for me when my time was up. I told them what I saw, and we fled. The next day, we went back to the top floor in the daylight, and the classroom doors were all locked, even the one I'd been inside. But every so often, walking down the corridors, we still felt icy shivers, like fingers, running up and down our spines. Years later, when the school finally obtained some funding, well after I'd graduated, they opened the classrooms again to see what needed renovating. They found a finished, abandoned piece, old, of a young woman with long red hair and blue eyes like mine. No blood anywhere in sight, but who bore a striking resemblance to me. Ooh, how spine-chilling. Thank you very much for this spooky tale, Dawn. I can practically hear your shrieks from over here, little ones. How intoxicating it is. All I need now is a tall glass of something appetizing. But for now, let's move on to the next letter. And that is all the time we have for tonight, little ones. It's the witching hour, and it is time for this creature of the night to return to the other side of the veil. But I shall return, fret not. There are always more terrifying tales to explore. Good night, little ones. Good night. And I believe that is a wrap for tonight's show. Oh, thank you. Congratulations on your first successful portion of the night shift. How do you feel? Revved up, huh? Well, I can see that. You have a very lovely smile. Oh, I do hope that wasn't too forward. I appreciate beauty in all its forms. You liked my smile too. Well, thank you. Something off about it? Looks like I have fangs. And is that a problem? You like them? Huh. Well, it's certainly been a while since I was this taken aback. Sure, flustered works as well. Yes, I'm sure you have other shows to get to tonight. It was lovely to work with you today. Same time tomorrow? It's a date. Have a good rest of your shift, little one.